Yo, what is good, YouTube? Krishan checking back in with another video. And before I start this video, I want to start off with a big announcement. We recently reached 150,000 views over here at Go Fitness on the channel. So big shout out to everyone that watches my videos and everyone that enjoys my content. That is huge, man. Thank you from the bottom of my heart. And I will continue to put out videos and hopefully we continue to grow as a community. But let's talk bodybuilding. So today I'll actually be going over the 2022 Arnold Classic competitors list for the men's open as well as the classic physique division. So in the men's open division, we have William Bonek, Rafael Brandao, Max Charles, Brandon Curry, Samson Dowda, Nathan D'Asher, Regan Grimes, Steve Kuklo, Cedric McMillan, Fabio Giga Residende, Justin Rodriguez, Mohammed Shaban, Brett Wilkin, and Akim Williams. Now, for the sake of this video, I'll be going over not necessarily everyone. I don't want to put out my predictions because I want to do a lot more videos closer to the Arnold Classic. But Cedric McMillan isn't someone I'm going to talk about a lot in this video. I'm not really sure what Cedric is going to do. I'm going to wait until he puts up some updates leading up into the show. Fabio, I don't know who he is, but I will be looking him up shortly. Mohammed Shaban as well. Wild card. I'm not really sure what he's going to do in his lineup, but other than those three guys, we will be discussing in detail everyone else on this list. So starting off this list, you know me, I have to go over the front runners. So on paper, this should be your top three. Now, you could have Cedric McMillan, give or take, depending on how he looks, but Brandon Curry, who was a former Arnold Classic winner, Brandon Curry has also been in the top 2 bodybuilders in the world for the past 3 years. William Bonek, he is the last Arnold Classic winner outside of Nick Walker, but Bonak never lost his Arnold Classic title. He didn't get to defend it against Nick Walker. So Bonak isn't the reigning Arnold Classic champion, but he hasn't lost his title yet. And Steve Kuklo, who placed third at the 2021 Arnold Classic versus Nick Walker, some people arguably had him second against Ian Valliere. You know that it was a top 2 call-out, but Steve just seems a little washed out in the midsection, man. If Steve can train his abs and get his abs to pop a lot more, then I can definitely see Steve winning a show like this. But in all honesty, guys, like I said, I don't want to put out my predictions, but I'm pretty sure we know how this show is gonna go. And I'm gonna talk into detail about Brandon Curry and William Bonek. So for now, just gonna kind of focus on Steve. And like I said, Steve is a guy that can come in and win this show. And from the last Arnold Classic, he's definitely the favorite from the last Arnold Classic. But talking about Brandon Curry, and I'm going to actually pull up his package that he brought to the last Arnold Classic, which was the 2019 Arnold Classic, which he won. And some people think to this day, this is Brandon Curry's best package. And I mean, come on, guys, look at this. If Brandon shows up like this, not even like this, I'm just going to be real. The Arnold Classic is over. In my opinion, you might as well just cancel winning the Arnold Classic. You may as well start the fight for second place. In my personal opinion, Brandon Curry is going to win this show, and it's not even going to be close. That's just my opinion on this. And as I stated in the video when I talked about why Hunter Labrada should do the Arnold Classic, I think the Arnold is more of a mass with class kind of division. And I know Nick Walker won, so it's not necessarily, but to me, I like the more mass with class in the Arnold Classic. You know, the Arnold Classic title has switched hands a lot more than the Mr. Olympia title, and out of the top 6, Brandon Curry and Hunter Labrada are 2 of the most aesthetic guys in that lineup. So, not a prediction video, guys, but Brandon Curry has been one of the top 2 bodybuilders for the past 3 years, so you're going to have to come with it. And William Bonek, placing second to Brandon Curry at that 2019 Arnold Classic, actually. William Bonek won the 2020 Arnold Classic, where Big Ramy placed third and Dexter Jackson placed second. So William Bonek beat Ramy in the same year that Ramy won the Mr. Olympia title. Now, I'm not going to lie to you guys. During this 2021 season, if you guys watch my content, I had a lot of hope for William Bonek, but going into this season, guys, I'm honestly just not sure. I'm not sure if William is going to bring a package even close to this again. It seemed to me William was starting to blow out his midsection some, and then he had a leg injury, and as well, William is just getting older, so I'm not sure, but you can't count out William. William and Rolly Winkler, I'm going to watch them very closely this season, man. I'm not going to give up on them just yet, but Bonek potentially, Brandon Curry and William Bonek could potentially be fighting for the top 2 at the Arnold Classic, which is very possible. And talking about these four guys, so we have Regan Grimes, Samson Dowder, Rafael Brandao, and Nathan Diaz. So we have all of these guys competing at the Arnold Classic. So I know you guys see Nick Walker, Hunter Labrada, Ian Vayer call themselves pretty much like the new generation of bodybuilders. Well, I feel like this, well, outside of Regan Grimes, but these are kind of like the second generation of bodybuilders from the UK. Now, keep in mind, guys, well, not just the UK, but just not the general United States, because Brandao is from Brazil, but Nathan Diaz has placed seventh, I believe. I actually believe he placed seventh at the 2017 Mr. Olympia. I believe he placed ahead of brandoncurry. I actually revisited that competition not too long ago. So Nathan has beat brandoncurry, and I'm actually very excited to see Nathan versus Brandon, because that could potentially as well be your top two call-out. But as I'm mentioning to you guys how Nathan and Brandon could be your top two call-out very possibly, Nathan placed fourth in this competition. So all three of these guys that are ahead of him could potentially beat Nathan Diaz again. So, I mean, honestly, guys, this is going to be an amazing Arnold Classic. I stand on what I say about brandoncurry winning the show, but I wouldn't be surprised if any of these four guys took second place, in all honesty, including Regan Grimes. Regan is just amazing. Samson is becoming one of my favorite physiques in bodybuilding. Rafa, oh my God, man, incredible aesthetic. He has these amazing lines, and I believe he's about 250 pounds. A lot of people thought he was around 230, but Rafa is huge, man, and we're kind of going to get another sneak peek of the Mr. Olympia before the Mr. Olympia now. The Arnold Classic is in March this year, so with it being early, the athletes will have time to put on some size. So how they place at the Arnold Classic isn't necessarily going to be a tell of how they're going to place later in the year at the Mr. Olympia, but no telling with any of these four guys. I can see any of these four guys placing second place at the Arnold Classic. And the last three guys from the open division I want to talk about, Brett Wilkin, Akeem Williams, Justin Rodriguez. Brett Wilkin placed second to Hunter Labrada at the Chicago Pro 2021. And everyone thought it was arguable. Brett arguably could have beat him. Honestly, Brett just didn't have enough size. But, man, Brett is huge. I know he's put on even more size. And Brett could be in that second place spot as well, guys. You never know. Akeem Williams, another great bodybuilder, underrated in my opinion. From what I know, Akeem wasn't working with the same coach that helped him place sixth at the Mr. Olympia this past season, and he necessarily wasn't at his best. I believe he was better at Puerto Rico than the Mr. Olympia, but I heard that he's now working with his coach he was working with when he got into that first call-out. So Akeem Williams, honestly, Akeem Williams could win this show. In all honesty, if Akeem brings the best Akeem to date, which we've all been waiting on, Akeem can be Mr. Olympia. And Justin Rodriguez, who just placed fourth at this past Arnold Classic. Amazing physique, very aesthetic, guys. As long as he's able to keep his waist in check, he is going to be a force to be reckoned with. And who knows? I mean, on paper from the last Arnold Classic, he will be second to Steve Kuclo. So outside of brandoncurry and William Bonak, based off the last Arnold Classic, the show will between Kuclo and Justin. So I'm excited to see what's going to happen, guys. I have no idea how I'm going to place these guys when I get closer to the competition, but let's go ahead and switch over to the Classic Physique, and let's see who's competing in that division. So here's the competitor list for the Classic Physique division at the 2022 Arnold Classic, and we have Breon Anlsey, Michael DeBull, Urs Kalecinski, Peter Molinar, Terrence Ruffin, Ramon Quiros, Darwin Urib, Lenny Weeks, and Divine Wilson. Now, I will have to look more into Michael DeBull and Lenny Weeks. I do not know who those two gentlemen are. I have heard of Divine Wilson, but I haven't exactly looked into him. And Darwin, amazing athlete. He was at the Mr. Olympia. I'm not sure exactly where he placed it. Don't believe he was within the top 10. Peter Molinar is an amazing athlete, and I believe, honestly, he could be winning a lot of Classic Physique shows. I just think they think he looks like a bodybuilder because, in my opinion, he's an amazing poser and has the best side tricep, even though it's not a mandatory pose in Classic Physique. But we're going to talk about the other four guys in detail, starting with Terrence Ruffin because he has been in the top two. Well, he's been the second best physique for the past 2 years in Classic Physique. And Terrence also just won the 2021 Arnold Classic as well. And arguable to some people, but Terrence Ruffin is the best poser in the IFBB. Even though Logan Franklin won the Best Poser Award at the Arnold Classic, a lot of people still believe that Terrence is overall a better poser. But, I mean, all honesty, you guys know I love Breon Anlsey, but I don't really think it's possible for Terrence Ruffin to lose this show. I mean, Terrence is just so classic. The only, and once again, this isn't a prediction video. I mean, it's just being honest. I mean, I don't really see how Terrence can lose this show, and Breon hasn't been able to beat him before. I'm hoping Breon could maybe edge him out, but I do love Terrence as an athlete as well. Breon is one of my favorites, but it's going to be really tough for Terrence to lose, man. I'm very excited to see the posing routine that he brings to this show. It will be up on the channel. And switching over to talk about the Black Swan for a second. The best back in classic physique division history. Quite possibly, quite possibly. The package that Breon brought to the 2021 Mr. Olympia was definitely one of my favorite packages to date. I don't think Terrence beating him was arguable. I mean, Breon has an amazing physique. Terrence is also amazing, but they're just so close, man. But I just don't see Breon edging him out, and mostly because Breon could beat him in some muscle groups, but Terrence's posing is just next level. Breon is an amazing poser, but Terrence and Logan are just in a completely different league, in my personal opinion. And in classic physique, I believe the posing does matter. And unless Breon can turn into the next Lee Labrada, I don't think he's going to be able to edge out Terrence. Or Terrence could come in off, but that's just my personal opinion on it, guys. In my opinion, if Terrence would have beat Chris Bumstead at this past year's Mr. Olympia, I wouldn't have batted an eye. Now, you Chris Bumstead fans, don't destroy me in the comment section, but this is what I know a lot of people are waiting for, the rematch of Urs Kalecinski versus Ramon Dino. And I put up a comparison of this video about 4 or 5 days ago. It has about 80 comments now, and I love my Brazilian fans. You guys are definitely welcome over here on the channel, but you guys gave me a lot of trouble about that video and some of the opinions that I gave out between these two. But we're going to get a rematch in about 11 weeks. And, of course, in real life, these guys have no animosity towards each other at all. They actually made a training video. I'm not sure how long ago that was. They have a video up on Machiavelli Motivation as well. So it's amazing to see two athletes that are, you know, coming up around the same level and supporting each other, kind of like Nick Walker and Ian Valier. And these two also have a very huge fan base as well, Ramon being from Brazil and Urs being the next big thing from Germany. And Urs gets criticized a lot, especially as of recently. I've seen a lot of people criticize him for his arms, said his quads are oversized. But I mean, Urs has a bright future, man. Keep in mind, guys, he's 23, and I believe he was 22 at the Mr. Olympia, if I'm not mistaken. And I know that these pictures aren't to size, just so you guys know. I just want to make sure that I got Ramon's arms in it. Urs just looks huge compared to him in his photo, but it's not size for them to be the same height. It's just something to look at. I know someone in the comment section is going to mention that, but I'm very excited to see the rematch between these guys. And you guys let me know in the comment section below. Is the show guaranteed to be between Rough Diesel and Breon Anlsey? Or could this show be between Ramon Dino and Urs Kalecinski? I hope you guys did indeed enjoy this video. And if you would like to support me or the channel in any way, you can do so by liking this video and subbing to the channel. I'm out.